My wife met someone who made her feel alive. That's what she told me on a Tuesday night, sitting at our kitchen island with a glass of wine, still in her work clothes, waiting for me to get home from campus. She said she hadn't physically cheated, just emotionally connected. She needed space to figure out what she wanted because our life felt predictable and small. I did not raise my voice. I asked how long this had been developing. She rolled her eyes and said it didn't matter because nothing had technically happened. Then she added that I had been distant anyway, buried in textbooks. I told her I hoped the other man gave her what she was looking for. She blinked. That wasn't the reaction she expected. That was the moment something in me went quiet, not angry, just clear. My name is Derek. I'm 34. I work full-time as a mechanical engineering technician and finish my bachelor's degree at night. My wife, Chloe, is 31. We've been married 5 years. Until that Tuesday, I thought our biggest issue was growing in different directions. She wanted more spontaneity. I wanted to finish school first. I thought that was temporary tension, not a structural problem. The shift didn't come out of nowhere. Chloe had been different for months, more guarded with her phone, more critical of my schedule. Small comments with edges. You never have time for anything fun anymore. I explained my timeline clearly. 2 semesters left, then my income jumps. The grind was temporary. She said she understood, said she was proud of me. So when she sat there that Tuesday and told me she'd met someone who made her feel alive, it wasn't just about attraction, it was comparison. I asked if she wanted a divorce. She exhaled loudly. Why do you always jump to extremes? I need space. Space inside a marriage usually means one of 2 things, repair or exit. I asked which direction she was leaning. She said she didn't know yet, said she needed time to explore her feelings, said I should be mature enough to give her that. I asked if she planned to keep seeing the other woman while she explored. She hesitated for half a second. That half second was enough. She said she didn't want to feel controlled, said if I trusted her, I'd let her figure it out. That's when I realized this wasn't confusion. She wanted the security of our marriage while she tested whether this new person offered something better. I didn't argue, I didn't beg. I simply said I wouldn't participate in that arrangement. She called me cold, said this was exactly why she felt disconnected. I shut down instead of fighting for her. What she meant was I wasn't competing. I went to bed in the guest room, set my alarm for 6 a.m., started acting the next day. While she was at work, I called in sick for the first time in 2 years. Then I opened my laptop and searched for short-term rentals near campus. By noon, I'd scheduled 2 viewings. By 4 p.m., I signed a 6-month lease on a 1-bedroom apartment 15 minutes away, clean, available immediately, within my budget. I paid the deposit on the spot. On the drive back, I called a moving company and booked them for the next morning. When Chloe got home that evening, I was sitting at the dining table with a folder. She dropped her bag. What did you do? I told her I signed a lease. I was moving out tomorrow morning. She stared like I'd spoken another language. You're not serious? I explained the terms. I'd keep paying my half of the rent until the lease expired, or she found a roommate. I wouldn't leave her financially exposed. She laughed, sharp. This is insane. I said, I need space, not abandonment. You're being dramatic and insecure. No, I'm being decisive. She started pacing, asked how I could make such a huge decision in less than 24 hours. I told her it wasn't less than 24 hours. It was the moment she said she needed to explore another connection while keeping this one intact. I wasn't going to compete for my own wife. The next morning at 9 a.m., the movers arrived. 2 guys in their 20s, efficient, no questions. They wrapped my desk, stacked my textbooks, carried out the mattress I'd bought before we got married. Chloe stood in the kitchen the whole time, arms folded, watching like it was a performance. "You're really going through with this?" "Yes." She tried a softer tone, said we could talk like adults, said I didn't have to prove a point. I told her I talked the night before. I asked clear questions. Her answer was that she needed freedom to explore while keeping the marriage intact. I wasn't interested in being structural support for my own replacement. By noon, the townhouse looked different. My desk gone, my clothes gone, the bookshelf I'd built with my dad years ago, gone. Before I left, I walked her through the financial breakdown. I'd keep paying my half of the rent until the lease ended in 4 months. Utilities split. I'd already emailed the spreadsheet. When I picked up my car keys, she finally asked the question that mattered. "So what is this, a trial separation?" "No." "Then what?" I paused. This is me removing myself from a situation where I'm being treated as an option. Then I walked out. That night, in my new apartment, surrounded by unopened boxes, I didn't text her, didn't check her social media, didn't call mutual friends. I opened my laptop and finished a lab report due at midnight. Because if my life was going to change, it was going to move forward, not sideways. Chloe texted on day 2, "This feels extreme. We could have handled this differently." I responded once, "We did handle it. This is the result." Over the next week, her messages shifted. First frustration, then defensiveness, then blame. "You always choose work over us. You made me feel lonely." I responded once, "If you felt lonely, you could have addressed that directly. Introducing a third person was your choice. I responded to that choice." After that, I limited communication strictly to logistics, lease payments, mail forwarding, utilities. About a month after I moved out, Chloe called. Her voice was different, softer. She asked if we could meet, said she'd stopped seeing the other woman, that it hadn't turned into what she thought, that she missed me, then corrected herself. She missed stability. Then she said something that confirmed my decision. "You didn't think I'd actually leave." That was the core of it. She thought I would tolerate discomfort indefinitely. She asked if there was a path back. I answered honestly. "There might have been before you tested the alternative while still married to me. After that, trust changes shape." She grew frustrated, accused me of acting superior. I told her this wasn't about superiority, it was about standards. Finally, I ended it cleanly. "I'm filing for divorce next week. You'll receive the paperwork through an attorney." She went quiet. Then, "So that's it? You just erase me?" "No, you stepped out. I stepped forward." When I hung up, I blocked her number, not out of anger, out of completion. I went to an attorney that Friday. No kids, no joint property, just shared furniture and a lease with 4 months remaining. The paperwork was drafted within a week. Chloe received it through certified mail. About month 2, I got a call from the companies I'd applied to, a paid internship in a larger city 3 hours away. The role would transition to full-time after graduation, salary higher than what I was making. I accepted within 48 hours. By the time the lease ended, I'd already secured my new apartment in the new city. I transferred my final rent payment as agreed, closed that chapter cleanly. The divorce finalized 6 months after she said she needed space. I didn't attend the hearing. When the confirmation email came, I read it once and archived it. No ceremony, just a legal end. The internship transitioned to full-time. My salary increased. I signed a 12-month lease in the new city. Still simple, still intentional. I never reached out, not to check if she regretted it, not to prove anything. My quiet absence wasn't a tactic. It was a boundary maintained consistently. About 9 months after I moved, I ran into someone from our old circle at a conference. He mentioned Chloe. Apparently, she'd moved out of the townhouse. The woman she'd been seeing didn't last. She'd started dating again quickly. Nothing stable. He also said she thought I'd come back once I cooled off. That narrative again, that my decisiveness was temporary, that my absence was emotional, not structural. I didn't feel satisfaction hearing that, just confirmation. When someone chases the feeling of being seen instead of building something durable, they often confuse novelty with depth. Here's the part I'd tell anyone reading this. You don't need to destroy someone to protect yourself. You don't need to scream to make a point. Sometimes the most definitive response is simple alignment. She wanted space, I gave it fully. She wanted to feel alive, I chose to feel steady. And when the paperwork was signed and my life continued forward without interruption, that became the closure she never saw coming. Not because I punished her, because I left cleanly. My name is Derek. I'm 34, and I don't wait in waiting rooms anymore.